Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? This is a reality show about television and friendship. Reality television, in fact. My name is Jake Scheidel. Each week I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how you doing today? On this lovely Saturday, the Saturday before Easter. Easter Eve is what they call it.
It's a crazy day to be recording on. Jake,
I know.
We've been waiting for a long time, and we can wait no longer. The time is finally here.
Yes.
It's back. The Yoffs. The Yoffs are back. I thought you thought I was going to say Jesus.
I did. I thought you were going to say he is risen, and I was really excited. I was going to interrupt you and say
LeBron
he
James
is risen.
is risen in that he has jumped for several slam dunk shots today.
He jumped for 4 jump shots today? What a statistic.
He said for several slam dunk shots.
Slam dunk shots. Oh, the Yoffs, the playoffs. The playoffs.
The Yoffs are here, baby.
Basketball.
B-Ball Yoffs 2017.
Great tune.
I love this game.
Did I ever tell you that when I first started doing stand-up in Grand Rapids, when I was like really in my own head and nervous about it, I would have that song on that was the only song on the CD, and I would put it in my car, and I would just play that song on a loop.
That is fantastic.
To pump myself up.
Roundball Rock is the best song. It's
a great pump-up song. People talk about, like, Motorcade or whatever that AC/DC song is. You know that one?
You're talking about Thunderstruck?
Thunderstruck, that's the one.
Yes, Motorcade.
Motorcade by AC/DC. Great tune. It's like that, you know? Great song. Anyway, people play it before football games all the time, and, like, it's definitely good, but it's no Roundball Rock. I don't think Roundball Rock will ever be beaten in pump-up rocks.
No, I think everything at this point, especially when it comes to, like, you know, themes or whatever, like, I think TNT and ESPN's, you know, NBA programming themes are all solid, but they're all just trying to be, everything is trying to recapture the magic of Roundball Rock. And it really isn't.
I don't think anyone would be upset if you just reused Roundball Rock.
Well, the thing is, I think NBC owns the rights to use it.
Then let them play every basketball game.
It was for the NBA on NBC, and, like, I would pay any amount of money if I were either Turner or you know, ABC to get the rights to use that song.
I think the NBA and also NCAA should just band together and buy the rights to Roundball Rock and play it before every basketball game and during.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Just start it 5 minutes before the game starts, and then just play it on a loop underneath.
Yeah, the PA guys play it on a loop the whole time.
And then even after the game is ended, or like if somebody gets injured and has to leave the game, it's like still underneath.
They alternate between the studio version and that one live version.
Yeah. Where he plays it off his answering machine.
John Tesh,
yeah.
Yeah, John Tesh plays his idea for it off of his answering machine that he saved and pretends to dribble a basketball very awkwardly.
It's great. Here's what they should do. Every halftime show of every basketball game of any level, pre-K to pro, should just be a video of that played on whatever screen or wall they have access to. I assume all gyms have a projector they can use.
Yes. Well, no, I mean, they've got the pro and college games, they've got the Jumbotron or whatever.
Yeah, the Jumbotron. I'm thinking, like, kids' games or, like, high school games. Like, they don't always have Jumbotrons there.
Look, they got to figure it out.
Get the AV Club kids in there, have them set up a projector, and play that YouTube video of John Tesh dribbling fake basketball.
Stop them from writing a bunch of TV recaps and get them to play that.
Which, by the way, the AV Club, a couple of seasons ago, stopped, like, doing full recaps of Survivor, and, like, I'm a little upset about it.
Like everything with the AV Club, it's just slowly degrading. Have you tried to use the TV Club section recently?
No.
They've made it, I think they were attempting to streamline it. They've made it, you know how you could search, like, shows that they had? There was a bar.
Yeah.
And they had it alphabetically? That doesn't exist anymore. And when you go to the TV Club, when you click on the TV Club thing, like, a little sub-menu comes down without actually bringing you to another page, and if you hit browse all, it just shows unorganized the most recent I guess organized by date or whatever, but there's no way, there's no menu for shows from there.
That's weird.
No, it's horrible. I don't know why they did it.
Probably because, I don't know, because of money.
Who was complaining about the previous thing?
I don't know. Maybe coming up with a menu, like, as you're typing, like, requires a lot of bandwidth. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I can't imagine it's that. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And anyway,
that's what a boring tangent.
You have an important question to ask.
A very important question to ask. We do the Survivor recaps here, but before we can recap Survivor, I have to ask you, Thomas, did you watch Survivor last night?
I'm not aware of what that is. What is
Survivor? Survivor is a television program. It airs CBS 8/7 Central every Wednesday. Jeffrey Probst hosts it.
Oh, you're talking about the Jeff Probst Adventure Hour. Yes,
excuse me.
I'm an avid listener of that program.
Do you watch it though? That's the real question.
No, it's a radio show.
I would love it. It's like all the news programs that also have audio podcasts, but they don't have the video part of it because you have to.
I was thinking more of like a 1940s like radio type serial.
Where
will our heroes go next week? Who will be eliminated?
I was imagining that it was just the straight audio from Survivor, like the podcast version, and it's just like you get none of the wildlife shots, you get none of the shots of people just like sitting on the beach looking sad.
All of the challenges are completely incoherent. I mean,
it's just Jeff yelling.
Yeah, you've got Jeff yelling things, but you don't really have anything. You can't really tell. What's happening.
There's a topple.
Oh, Jeff says so.
I guess so. Oh wow, a person got voted out. It's like the voting part of the episode is just like 7 minutes of really intense music with like no one narrating what's happening. This is a great idea. All right, so this week's episode was called "What Happens on Exile Stays on Exile," which is another quote from Debbie. That's 2 weeks in a row that we've had episode titles from quotes from Debbie.
I don't like this precedent that's being set.
What if every episode from here on out is a quote from Debbie?
Well, that would generally imply that Debbie's going to make it to the final 3, which is not something I like to think about.
Yeah, or they just
have a bunch of reuse
clips of her. They just put in there. Here's some better titles I thought would be. Poor sentence structure there. Some better titles for this week would have been 1. No samples. 2. Not going quietly off this island. That's a great episode title. I don't know why. This week had nothing to do with Exile. Not going quietly off this island. Great episode title. Or I'm surprised they passed on this one because it was a big deal. Like throughout the episode, just the word metamorphosis. Maybe they've already used that, and that's why they can't use it again. But I think metamorphosis would have been a great episode title given this week's theme. Speaking of Debbie, remember last week how you said that she's a serial liar?
Yeah. She's a compulsive liar.
You are correct. I was curious about Debbie Weiner, or however you pronounce her last name, Weiner. So I Googled Debbie, Survivor. There were probably other words in my Google search, but here's something that came up from...
I'm sorry, feet?
Feet, yes.
You Googled Debbie Survivor feet.
Yeah, that was the first suggestion, and I was like, yes, this is correct. Here's an article I found on TMZ. A contestant on Survivor Co. Wrong failed to outwit, outplay, and outlast the feds because she pled guilty to felonies for falsifying Hurricane Katrina water test results.
What?
Debbie Weiner, a 49-year-old chemist from Reading, Pennsylvania, was arrested in 2010 and charged with 3 counts of falsifying test results from Hurricane Katrina water samples. Weiner worked for a private lab that did testing for various Pennsylvania counties and private companies. Her company was hired to ensure water met various environmental standards. According to legal docs, Weiner took on clients when she knew her company did not have the proper equipment to provide accurate results. The criminal complaint alleges she falsified water test results. Weiner pled guilty to 3 felonies of falsifying results. She was placed on 1 year probation. Excuse me.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, you hit the nail on the head with that one last week. But also I found out that she really was in the Air Force or whatever. She was a commander, whatever she said she was, in the voluntary Air Force. So, she lied about
that military
her
experience.
Yeah, I guess so. Can you pay rent in military experience? I don't think so. All right, let's get into this episode. Let's start off on the Nuku tribe. Ty is still worried about Ozzy, and Varner says he wants to punch everybody in the throat bone, which I don't think is a bone, but I understand your point.
There are no bones. There are no bones in the throat. I don't think the spine is at any point in your throat, and I think that's probably the closest. Well, that and your jaw.
Yeah, I guess so. Or I guess it depends how deep you would call your throat and like how prominent your clavicles are.
Well, there's a difference between like neck and throat. Like I think throat is generally like just your esophagus, which is not a bone.
Yeah, hopefully. If your esophagus is a bone, you should go see a doctor. You'd probably have a show on TLC.
Yeah, you would go see a doctor and they'd be like, 1, how are you live? 2, how? This is impossible.
This is weird. I don't like it. Varner says he wants to punch everybody in the throat bone. Zeke apologizes to Varner for voting out his only ally. And Varner says it's okay. And then Zeke says, I'm very sincere. I want to work with you until the end. And then Jeffrey Varner says, I'm not done just yet. I'm going to go straight into the reward challenge. They have to unspool some keys from like a maypole kind of thing, then unlock some balls, and then launch 5 balls into 5 targets. And the reward is 10 pizzas. Sierra asks for samples, and Jeff says, no samples. Would have been a good episode title, but who am I to say? It's not like I pick the episode title of every episode of this show, just about. Don't ask Jeff Probst for...
When have you not?
I don't know, I feel like sometimes you've been like, hey, this would be a good episode title, and I'm like, you're correct.
Ultimately, it is your decision, then.
You're right. So Nuku pulls ahead really early, and then they win. Good for them. Then we go over to the Mana tribe. The whole tribe bonds over how taxing the game of Survivor is, and Brad talks about how much he loves his wife, Monica. We get it. You love Monica. She played Survivor before.
It was interesting to see the circle of people being like, it's really hard, and you don't realize how hard it is, and then Michaela being like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Michaela is just unflappable.
I went to her Twitter, and she posted a screenshot of that, and she was like, I have feelings! Which I thought was very funny. Aubrey and Sari thank Brad for opening up. And then at this point on the Mana tribe, there seems to be an alliance of Brad, Aubrey, Sari, Sierra, and Troyzan. So basically everyone except Michaela and Haley.
I don't approve of Michaela not being in an alliance.
She doesn't need allies. She's going to win the game by herself.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I guess it doesn't really matter that much anymore because the merge is
next week, yeah. I like that my 2 favorite people on that tribe are the only people not in that alliance. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Over on the Nuku tribe, Varner begins his target of Ozzy. He says, he tells Sarah that he wants to target Ozzy, and she seems to be on board. And she says, I'd like to win that necklace every once in a while, in reference to Oswaldo, not his name, winning individual immunity a lot. Great plan. Would be really good if that were the case. Boy, oh boy. This immunity challenge happens. They have to release some buoys, each of which has a letter on it, and they have to solve a word puzzle with all the letters on the buoys. And Nuku pulls ahead, but then during the Mana tribe, or during the word puzzle, someone suggests the word Troop Master, which only has like half of the letters they've got.
It's also not a word.
It's 2 words. It's twice as many words as they're looking for. Mm-hmm. Once Mana starts looking at the letters, someone suggests metamorphosis, and they are correct. So they win, and Varner says, I know, I'm probably going home. I have to get everyone to vote Ozzy. Boy, oh boy, what a great plan, Varner. Would be a shame if you fucked it up somehow. Be really hard to fuck that plan up. Oh, boy. Then they get back to camp, and Varner says, since my name is on the block, can I have some one time with everyone? And everybody's like, sounds like a plan, my dude. Then Varner and Ozzy go to get water, and while they're gone, Debbie suggests Varner, but Sarah wants to take out Ozzy. And Zeke says that he has set it up so that there are bigger threats still in the game, bigger than him. He then talks to Varner and tells him that there's about a 50% chance of him hitting the sticks this week. Is that a phrase?
Hitting the bricks, I think.
That's the one. I was close. I got most of the letters right.
I realized I wasn't holding my mic. Hitting the bricks is the thing.
There we go. He says, I'm going to do whatever I can to save you, but I don't know that I can. Then Varner tells us Ozzy and Zeke may be working together. I wonder if the girls know that. So he tells Sarah and Andrea, and they are both very interested in this information. Then Varner says to us, there's something about Zeke I don't think anyone else has picked up on. If I have to go to Tribal tonight and raise mortal hell, I'm going to do it. I'm not going quietly off this island. Would have been a real good episode title there. Jeffrey Probst.
Mm-hmm. Would have been a very good title.
But we got What Happens in Exile Stays on Exile. Because remember those ads? Those ads for Las Vegas? They were a thing where people said something. I'm not familiar
with that. I don't know where that... What is that? What is that place?
So, like, a million years ago, they were like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Because, you know, people are like...
No,
so
I'm not saying that advertising
Vegas.
campaign. I'm saying what is Las Vegas?
Oh, Las Vegas. It's like, if you go there, like, I like to call it Lost
I'm
Wages.
asking this because I've never been there. Oh, good one.
Thanks. It's like, you go there and you, like, spend a lot of money, and it's like, so crazy, and then, like, sometimes you'll lose
crazy.
money.
Yeah, well, especially because, like, I just wanted to ask, because I've definitely never recorded my end of this podcast from that city before.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's fair. Well, we should do that one day. We should try that someday. Just try to record from Lost Wages. Get it? Because you might lose your wages there. You know how you get paid on a regular. So you get a paycheck every week. Or two?
I'm already I'm not yes-anding this.
Yes, and this.
Yes, and.
All right. So here's what happened, wildlife-wise, this week on Survivor. We had a snake. We had a parrot. We had a different kind of snake. And then there was also a rat. So not a lot. But luckily, the challenge came through this week and gave us a few wildlife shots. There was one monkey. There was a cow. And there was a grasshopper. So, let me tell you a couple facts about grasshoppers that I read real quick before we started recording. They are probably the oldest living group of chewing, herbivorous insects dating back to the early Triassic, around 250 million years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Lordy Lordy, look who's 40. It's grasshoppers.
Here's another fun fact about grasshoppers, your favorite animal. In most grasshopper species, conflicts between males over females rarely escalate beyond ritualistic displays. Some exceptions include the chameleon grasshopper, where males may fight on top of oviposting females engaging in leg grappling, biting, kicking, and mounting.
I like the idea of them just doing the like leg wrestling thing that people do.
Yeah.
Like, this is how we will determine this.
I also love that they are on top of the female that they are courting.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is what is important.
Yeah, it's like playing King of the Hill on that.
Yeah. It's like
Also, another fun fact about Grasshoppers: they're voiced by Kevin Spacey, and they're evil and they're oppressing the ants.
oh, in the movie Ants.
Yes.
But so
starring Woody Allen.
I love that movie. I love how he's like, oh, what's a Jewish ant gotta do to get bread in this joint?
Yeah.
That's a great impression of Woody Allen, I think.
I don't know. Even a crumb. If I could just get something. I'm an ant.
Why didn't they ever make an Ants 2? And then they could have spelled it A-N-T and then the number 2. Yeah. Oh, my God. What a great idea. That's it. That's all I got to say to that. 15 years later. 20 years later? When did Ants come out? No, before we
Ants
continue.
came out about 15 years ago. I think it came out in like 99.
That was almost 20 years ago, my friend. It's 2017 now.
Well, we're right in between 15 and 20 years.
Okay, well, if you want to be specific about it. All right, do you want to get into the worst tribal council that's ever happened in the show of Survivor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So Varner says, I'm on the bottom. I know I'm out next. And then he lays out the reasons that they should keep him and get rid of Ozzy instead. And Debbie, who wanted to get rid of him to begin with, said he makes a really good point. Whether she was buttering him up or was actually convinced, we'll never know.
This is all he had to do.
He made such a good argument for himself, but he wasn't finished. He decided, in order to illustrate how filled with deception Zeke actually is, Varner turns to him and says, why haven't you told anyone you're transgender? What? How did you think this would go, my dude?
I really think he wasn't thinking beyond, like, my back's against the wall, like, I'm going to pull everything out, and I think he was just in, I don't know.
Desperation mode?
I don't know if the game pushed him into this level of desperation or what, but, like, yeah. This was incredibly fucked up, and everyone immediately responded.
Yeah.
Saying some variation of the same thing.
Yeah, everybody's saying, fuck you, why would you do that?
It literally was like immediately everyone was like, what? Like,
yeah, like
that's personal.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the game.
Ty rightfully tells Varner that he says, like, you just outed him.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, you should know better.
Yeah, Zeke says, in the 2 seasons I've played Survivor, I've told nobody. And Varner tries to explain, I just wanted to show how easy it is for Zeke to hide things, because he was trying to explain how Zeke and Ozzy had an internal alliance within the larger alliance, which is a fine argument to make, because he's probably right. And then Probst says, you see what a giant leap of logic that is. I did not expect Jeff Probst to be so on board with Zeke on this one. I'm pretty sure he's a fairly conservative fellow, but he was right there by Zeke's side, and I really
more like Jeff
appreciated
Lokst.
Yeah, exactly.
S. Jeff Probst W. Yeah, no.
What are the S and W standing? S Jeff W.
Social Jeff Probst warrior.
There we go. Zeke says, there's a great kicker to this. I really liked Varner. And then Zeke explains, when people know that about you, that's sort of who you are. And obviously he is shook, because that's a really fucked up, unexpected thing to happen. But after he collects himself a little bit, he says, I don't know that scared kid who hit the mat in 33 would be as calm as I am right now. But I've started 2 fires with just bamboo. I've won challenges. This is when the music starts swelling.
Yeah.
I've been a part of blindsides. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, and I am a changed, stronger, better man today than I was then. So, Varner, it's really not cool, but, I'm fine. And Sarah's really happy for him and realizes how much she has grown since her conservative Midwest upbringing. And then Zeke says, I should not be a role model in any sense, but maybe me being on this show will help someone and lead to a greater good, which is a phenomenal view of this whole situation. And I'm glad he could come to that realization so quickly.
Yeah, he handled that about as well as he could, and I did like, I think with a lot of people like this, people, it's not, you don't have to be, because he absolutely would have been, that is how they would have framed everything if he had mentioned it. It would have been, a big deal.
Yeah,
and
which is what he said.
I understand wanting to have, which I was going to say, I understand wanting to have a certain element of privacy and just be like, okay, it's just another contestant. Let's see how they play.
Yeah. He and then Jeff Probst says, we don't need to vote. Varner, grab your torch. And everybody's like, yep, correct. And Varner's like, that's fair. I super fucked up. While watching this whole scene, I felt like Tyra Banks in that one episode of
we were rooting for you episode.
For you. Because he's played twice before.
I've always really liked Varner.
Me too. And then he was just like, you know how in Heroes vs. Villains 2, I was going to be on the Heroes team? Just kidding. No, I'm a villain forever. It sucks that...
I don't think he's ever going to be on the show again.
No, I don't think he will either. That's... I know he has apologized immensely for it, and, did so almost immediately, realizing what he had done, but... Yeah, that's
you still did it.
Yeah, you can't really take that back.
I feel bad for him, but because it did seem like he, he realized what he did and genuinely felt really awful about it. But there are consequences for doing something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I had seen a tweet about it, a headline that Jeff Probst had posted. Before watching the episode, and then, like an idiot, I read the entire headline, which revealed everything that had happened. I don't know how I would have reacted had I not known this was coming. Had I not known this was coming. Because I was, just waiting for it with bated breath. And I wonder if I hadn't known, if I would have had a more visceral reaction to it. Which, I still did. But because I knew it was coming, when it finally happened, a weight was kind of lifted off my chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the Hitchcockian thing where it's easier to build anticipation when someone knows that something is coming and is just anticipating the moment that it's going to happen. But I am glad that I knew it was coming, just because I don't know what my reaction would have been coming in blind. At least I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, it was still not easy to watch, and it wasn't I'm pretty sure I've read something about this whole thing since Wednesday, since the episode aired and I watched it. Which is I read the things he wrote for Hollywood Reporter. Who did he play with? Oh, Hannah from last season wrote something about it, and just the Facebook group, Survivor Facebook group, and it's just this, Survivor has not made national news in this way in 17 years. It's a big deal, and it's weird to say that it happened at a good time in history, but it kind of did.
Yeah, it's better that this happened now and not,
5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, season 3 or 4 or something like that,
Yeah, that would have been... Well, because... did you ever watch The Surreal Life with any frequency?
Not really.
There was somebody, I don't remember who it was. I think it was David Arquette's sibling, or somebody from the Arquette family. I don't remember if they were transgender. I think they were transgender. But this was 2002, so nobody really knew what that was fully. And people were making fun of them a lot. And they freaked out at a bar one time, and it was look at how crazy this trans person is. The trans people are so
even
weird.
Just the framing of it, even the framing of it, it's completely different. Part of me wonders if it did happen back then, if it had been somebody like Varner doing it, I think if it was, 2003 or something like that, I think he probably wouldn't have done it. I think it's almost like it's the best time for it to happen in terms of like reaction to it, and I think that might be one of the reasons why he did it, because he was like, oh, well, it's not a big deal, and then realized
that is kind of what he was saying.
Like, oh, well, shit, like it's not, you still outed him.
Yeah, he had mentioned in Tribal Council, like, I thought he was like out and open about it, and which Jeff Probst like promptly negated, was like, well, you can't say he's being deceptive about it and then also say that he's out and open about it. Like, that's not possible. But I can understand why you would think, like, it was like, the trans community is still, like, marginalized, but more people are aware of it than they were 5 or 10 years ago, which is good, and I can understand why Varner would think that. But that is not your place to do that.
No, it was still like, even in that, coming at it from that headspace, like, it's, you should have thought that one through.
Even more recently, we're saying 5 or 10 years ago, but even more recently, I can't remember, we weren't doing the show for the first Brains, Beauty, Brawn, right?
Oh, no, we weren't.
There was a scene where, I think it was Tasha, I think that was her name, made some joke about actually being male, and people are, like, kind of freaked out about it, and this was only, like, 2 or 3 years ago, and they were like, whoa, is this something we didn't know about her? And she was like, well, no, it's just making a joke. And that was very recently, so this is like, it's like the real world in, like, 94 or whatever, when, what's his name, was dealing with AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, gay people in the 90s were seen, I mean, we weren't as familiar with society when we were, like, toddlers and kids, but...
Yeah, obviously.
I feel like gay people in the 80s and 90s were seen kind of in the way that trans people are generally seen now, maybe.
I mean, it was. I don't know if it's quite. I don't think it's a little bit of an apples oranges comparison.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
don't want to say that they're the same.
I get at the same time,
but...
like, it was a big deal in the same way that this is still like a big deal. Whereas somebody being gay on Survivor right now, like, obviously there were 3 openly gay guys on that tribe.
Well, the first winner of the game of Survivor was an openly gay man, so
yep.
It was far more accepted in 2000 than...
Yeah, well, it was, but also they edited... Even though, I mean, Richard was, like, kind of a weird dude, but they edited it very, like, oh, look at this, like, perverse gay man.
Yeah. But it was still in the conversation.
Yeah, no, of course.
Like, people were more willing to talk about it. But no, I think it happened on a big enough show in the right time to get people talking and be more accepting of it, hopefully. Like, it's all about visibility, like, and I understand why Zeke wants to keep it private, and, like, that's his right to do that entirely, but I think it is good that people know about it now.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And yeah, I'm glad he wrote the Hollywood Reporter thing. I read it. I thought it was good. I don't think that anybody, like, he should be allowed as much privacy as he wants from here on out.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, that's going to be one of the biggest reality show moments.
Probably ever. Yeah.
Yeah, ever. I like, by the way, like, going back, this is, so we can move on from this, because I even just talking about it is just really fucking with me, but, I was talking to a couple of my friends who had just recently gone back on Hulu and watched season 1 of Survivor.
Okay, yeah.
About just, like, because they had been watching, more recent seasons before that, and they were like, it's crazy how But just how little strategy anyone used. Like, the idea that Richard was, like, the first person to think of having alliances.
Yeah.
Where the one guy would just vote alphabetically.
Well, yeah, I remember seeing an interview with Jeff Probst that he did a few years ago, and he was like, when they were in a challenge and Richard Hatch, like, whispered over to, I don't remember, whoever did the, like, rat snake analogy or whatever in Final Tribal, and they were like, who do you want to vote out? Like, that had not dawned on them that people would do that, which is such a weird thing to think, you know, like 20 years later. Yeah, because
it's so big now, like, you really wouldn't think that people would try and go outside of just the...
Yeah, just, like, the person you dislike the most.
Yeah, because, like, it'd be either the person you dislike the most or, like... I don't know. I mean, like, eventually it would just be like the Joe-type players would just win.
Yeah, which I'm sure they would appreciate.
Jeff would love that.
Jeff would love that if Joe ever came back and won. Surprised he hasn't come back a third time yet. Actually,
I figured he was probably going to be on this season, but...
Nah, he'll probably stay away until Heroes vs. Villains 2. He'll probably be on the Heroes
back
tribe.
As a hero.
Yeah. He just wants it so much.
Yeah, he'll probably be back. I bet Scott Pollard will be back.
And Chase and Jason will be on the Villains tribe together.
I would love for Chase and Jason to take time off from his busy bounty hunting schedule to come back.
Yeah, he is very important.
And Chase and Jason's Jason Nation.
Here's the thing you have to understand about Chase and Jason and his Jason Nation. He is one of the greatest bounty hunters in Southeast Michigan.
Yeah, he's one of the foremost bounty hunters in Southeast Michigan. He's pretty in demand.
Yeah, so that's I can understand that. All right, so let me scroll through this. I had copied and pasted the Hollywood Reporter thing. If you hadn't read it, I was going to read some highlights, but good. I'm glad you read it.
I read that. I think we can move on.
If you haven't read it, go out and read it. It's very good. Both reading about a trans person's life and transition and outing, and also the game of Survivor. It's interesting for both reasons. Do you want to awkwardly transition into points?
Yeah, let's go points.
Oh, okay. My chest still feels weird after that whole thing. Glad, and also not glad it happened. All right. I won 2 points this week. Andrea survived and Mano won immunity. So I'm at 14. Thomas coming through. Michaela and Ty both survived. Nuku won reward. Mano won immunity. And Varner was voted out.
5 points, baby.
So you're up
it's
to
not in the
19.
way that I wanted Varner to get voted out, but even after all that happened at the end of the episode, I was like, wait, did I sweep all the points?
The answer to that is yes. You did indeed. All right. Well, it's time.
Well, so yeah, we've hit the merge. Now we get to pick.
It's the offs both in the NBA and Survivor this week.
We have hit the offs, baby.
All right. So here's who is left. We've got Aubrey. We've got Michaela. We've got Brad. We've got Sari. We've got Haley. We've got Troy Zan. We've got Sierra, Andrea, Sarah, Ozzy, Zeke, Ty, and Debbie. Who's your person for the rest of the show? You get to pick a new person if you want.
Do you want to keep it the way that whoever is leading in points gets first pick?
Yeah, have we done that?
As a reward for winning the first stage of points?
We did that in the past. I was thinking about that. I couldn't remember how we did it.
It seems like we should.
Yeah, I actually had a very similar thought earlier today, and I did not talk to you beforehand about it. But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, put it in the books. I'm
gonna pick Zeke.
Yeah, that's fair. If you hadn't, I probably would have.
Winner's Edit vibes.
Yeah, he's got to probably have the cast on fully on his side for the rest of the show. Probably.
I'm sure that's the thing. That's the thing is do you want to be the person that eliminated him?
Right.
But at a certain point, though, I am worried they're going to realize, like, well, if Zeke gets to the final 3, he'll win. So,
okay.
But yeah, I was tempted to pick Michaela because I thought it would piss you off, but I'm assuming that's who you're going to pick.
I'm actually going to pick Sierra Easton. Oh, fuck! Fuck, she was out episode 1. Fuck! Okay. Definitely not Debbie. I could see Sarah going far just because nobody really expects anything from her, I think. I think she is the most under the radar with anybody left.
I agree.
I can see Haley making it really far 'cause she's very smart. I mean, I could see...
She's still the only person that's been on the... She's still the only person that's been on the right side of every vote she's been in, right?
She's not the only person, but she does have the most.
She has had the most. She's had the most votes. That she's
Although
been on the right side
I didn't check. What did we say last week? Who had 3? Oh, Sierra had 3. She wasn't in tribal this week, right? Okay. No. Yeah, so Haley still has the top spot for that. I do want to pick Michaela just because I like her a lot. But yeah, I think I gotta...
Let me throw this out there. Ty's got 2 idols.
Ty does have 2 idols. Here's the thing with Ty, though.
The problem with that is you have to trust him.
Idiot.
You have to trust him how to use that. Yeah. He's bad at it. That I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should stick with Ty. And I was like, no, he's gonna fuck this up somehow.
Okay, so we're guessing who will last to final tribal council. Who will appear in every episode? Jeff Probst. That's my pick.
Nope, that's not allowed.
All right, you know what? No, I'm going to pick Haley. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Haley. I think Andrea's too much of a threat. People don't trust Michaela. Debbie, they'll probably want to get rid of as soon as possible. Ozzy's too much of a threat. Cerie's too much of a threat. Ty is too much of an idiot. Aubrey's a threat. Brad's a threat.
Ty's also a threat. Like, he's good at individual immunity
That's
challenges.
True. Zeke is a threat. It's gonna come down to Haley, Sierra, and Sarah. Because nobody's thinking about any of them.
Interesting.
Those are not official predictions. Just want to say that right away.
Okay.
But I am sticking with Haley for the rest of the show. Hitching my wagon to Hale Bug. Don't like that nickname, but it's too late now.
Either. I think that's a good choice, though. All right, should we? Okay, who's gonna win immunity and who's gonna go home?
And who's gonna win reward? Assuming they do reward.
Oh yeah. Are we just you pick a single person and if they are included in reward, then yeah.
Yeah. Let's I guess I'll say Brad for reward.
Okay, I'll say Ozzy for reward.
Okay, immunity. I'm going to say Troyzan.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's see what he's made of. Troyzan to win. Immunity. Not the game.
I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking of who's still there.
Aubrey, Michaela, Brad, Cerie, Haley, Troyzan, Sierra, Andrea, Sarah, Ozzy, Zeke, Ty, Debbie.
I'm going to say Ty wins immunity.
All right. I said Troyzan. Who's out?
I think Debbie is out.
Oh, they're not going to get Debbie out this early. I got to go with Ozzy again.
She does have the extra vote.
Yeah, so she's probably going to be out. Are you picking somebody new? Are you switching your vote?
I'm thinking. I'm just going to throw the vibe out there for Debbie because I want it to happen.
All right. I like that strategy. All right. That's everybody. What do you think the reward's going to be? Peanut butter and cookie sandwich?
I think it is going to be... They've already done hamburgers, haven't they? And they just did pizza.
Yeah.
What would Jeff?
What?
I bet Jeff...
Okay, before we predict anything, do you want to make this another point? What might show up? What food or drink or activity might show up at reward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. What do you think is going to be involved in the reward?
I think it is going to be a food reward.
Okay.
And have they done ice cream yet?
Not that I can remember.
I think they're going to do ice cream.
Okay, I think we will see an appearance by our good friend, Beer.
Do you think there will also be cold drinks?
What did they do? Oh, it was pizza this week, and they were like, and soft drinks, and I was like, everybody's over 21 this season. Like,
yeah,
you can
there's no
just give
Will
them
Whale.
beer.
There's no Will Whale this time. They had some left over on the island when Will Whale was there that they had to get rid of.
All right, here. Do you want to hear about the challenge this week?
Yeah, sure. What happened?
All right. Jenna was eliminated. And
bummer.
Yeah, I know. Some kid from Are You the One was eliminated. I already forgot his name.
Well, not bummer. Who cares?
I think his name was like Austin or something. I don't really care. Speaking of Are You the One, have you started Second Chances yet?
No.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking with Are You the One, Second Chances. There's, I don't know how many episodes there's going to be, but there's 10 couples in the beginning, so I'm assuming 9 to 10 episodes. Do you want to watch it in the off-season?
Yes, I think we should do that. Although we can't really do predictions because you've watched.
As I've already watched it and it's already aired, so unless something better comes up, let's put Are You the One, Second Chances on, because it is more strategic than Are You the One, and we've already got Are You the One in the pocket, and we already got a song picked out for Second Chances, so
this is true.
This
we
is
can
all
do
good.
that. Yeah, but we've got options. We could do that. I had actually thought about either proposing a Survivor Classic season or an Are You the One Classic season.
I definitely don't want to do that.
All right, well, let's just throw that out then. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, we got to start thinking. I mean, we're halfway through this season of Survivor, so we have to start thinking about what we're doing in the off season. We have one episode planned specifically.
Also, Survivor and the Challenge are airing
simultaneously.
Currently, so yeah.
Although Survivor or the new season of the Challenge, I guess, is starting filming this week, I believe.
Interesting.
So maybe that'll be it probably won't be done in time. We'll see. We'll figure it all out. We'll keep you updated. Yeah, I will not tell you who got eliminated this week, but I think you will appreciate it when we finally watch it. Let's get into our final segment called Other Notes. Remember to use that hashtag Ryan Devlin on Survivor.
What was the news about that? Didn't you say you had news about it?
I have news about the hashtag Ryan Devlin on Survivor. He responded to our tweet about it.
What? No, he didn't.
He did. And he said, I'd vote myself off the island day one.
Ryan, no!
So, I guess the only other option is Ryan Devlin to host Survivor in the future.
Yeah, I don't know if he realized that. Well, obviously our final episode of Survivor Plan is gone, but I think I generally more meant it for him to be the next host anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Is there... I mean, we can push for Ryan Devlin to host the new season, or the future Survivor
Celebrity
2000.
All-Star. He's the host of Celebrity All-Star.
Yeah. I don't think Jeff Probst is leaving us anytime soon, so we can...
Like that I called it Celebrity All-Star.
Yeah,
and didn't say Survivor at all.
I knew what you meant. It's all Smash Mouth. They just have 4 tribes of clones of Smash Mouth.
Yeah, they're all Steve from Smash Mouth.
So we can here are the options. We can either retire Ryan Devlin on Survivor as our hashtag this week and bring it back when Jeff Probst announces his retirement and they need somebody new, or we can continue with this and badger Ryan Devlin for the next 10 years.
Just bother him a lot.
But here's the thing. I don't want to just retire the hashtag. I want to replace it with somebody else if we decide to do that. Is there anyone else that we want to see on Survivor?
Who do we want on Survivor?
Whom would we like to see? Kevin James? No. I don't feel good celebrating him unless it's Celebrity All-Stars.
Stuckey on Survivor. They've had athletes before.
Rodney Stuckey on Survivor?
Rodney Stuckey was recently... Rodney Stuckey, a man whose jersey I own, was cut before the postseason by the Indiana Pacers. He's currently unemployed basketball-wise. Perfect, but still in good shape. And this is the perfect time.
He's played for the Detroit Pistons just like Scott Pollard did.
Scott Pollard never played for the Detroit Pistons.
He played against them once.
Yes, he did. That is true.
That's what I meant to say.
Or wait. I think Scott... No, I don't think...
I think he did for a year.
All right, we're going to look this up.
We need to look this up right now. This
yeah,
is very
maybe
important.
this was a thing where I looked and I was like, oh man, I couldn't believe that he played for them for a year.
He was like a bench player for like a year, like a season or two before he retired, I want to say.
Let's find out.
But there was somebody else who played for the Pistons who was on a few years ago. I think he was on the first Brains Beauties bronze. What was his name though?
Scott Pollard played for the Detroit Pistons as a rookie.
As a rookie, okay. Can you look up the first cast of Brains and Bronze and Beauties survivors? That's what the season was called. It was very awkward. Actually, to be honest, that season, that theme is very awkwardly titled because you know how every week at the end he's like, the sixth person voted out of Survivor. Bronze versus Brains versus Beauties. It takes
Survivor,
too long.
Survivor, Cagayan.
Yeah, it was Cagayan, yeah.
Contestants.
Is there anybody's name who pops out there? He was on the Braun Tribe, I want to say.
Oh, shit. It was Cliff Robinson.
Cliff Robinson.
I didn't know Uncle Cliffy was on there.
Yeah, he also played for the Pistons for a time.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Oh, Cliff Robinson fucking ruled.
Yeah, he was actually not bad. And Gary Hogaboom has played, who, granted, he didn't play basketball at all, and especially not for the Pistons, but he did play football in Michigan. He played a sport for a Michigan team. So, Michigan athletes, great for Survivor. Let's get Rodney Stuckey on Survivor. New hashtag.
Let's do it. We've already had a Piston on there. Let's get another one.
We've had two on there. At least.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we've had two.
All right, Rodney Stuckey on Survivor. Hit him up on Twitter. I'm sure he'll respond. What else is he doing? He's not young.
Yeah, wow. I didn't realize the Pistons drafted him. They selected him 19th overall, Scott Pollard.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
And he was traded to the Atlanta Hawks for Christian Laettner.
What do you think? Worthy? A good trade?
Yeah, about a wash, I would say.
Right.
Scott Pollard was all right for the Kings for a while, but I think Laettner was still okay when he was on the... No one cares about this, except me and you. But, yeah, anyway, you should follow us on the Twitter.
Yeah, that handle is DYWSLN. You can also just follow me if you prefer me to Thomas, which would be a weird thing. We're both on Twitter. We're always talking. My Twitter handle is Jake Scheidel. That's also my name.
Mine is Tom.Tom. Follow at Year Before. By the time this episode is up, our most recent episode will also be up. I'm literally going to upload it right after we stop recording. It is 2005. It's a pretty good one. I'm not on it, but Madagascar is watched.
Oh my god. I'm watching that as soon as you put it up. I'm so excited to watch that.
Yeah, they watched Madagascar.
Here's the thing about Madagascar. I have it on DVD, and every so often I just like to pick it up, and I like to move it. Yep. I like to remember that. I do remember that song from that movie. If you want to email us, if you want to suggest more Detroit Pistons to end up on Survivor, you can email us at didyouvwatchlastnight@gmail.com. Remember,
obviously, Rasheed Wallace would be the best possible contestant. But Ben Wallace would also be a great contestant.
Yes. Really, anybody who's ever played for the Detroit Pistons is going to be good. Do you think Tayshaun Prince would be a good Survivor contestant?
Yes, he absolutely would.
Do you feel like Darko Milicic would be a good Survivor player?
I would love if he was on it. It would be interesting. Darko Milicic apparently is just like farming now, and apparently he's very happy. He said that he was not in a good mindset when he was in the NBA, and he feels like he blew the chances that he had, but he said that he's come to terms with that, and he's pretty happy now, so it would be nice to see like farmer Darko Milicic on there.
Yeah, I feel like he has a lot of skills. Like, he is obviously an athletic, he has an athlete's body based on the NBA experience he has. And he can farm, which is important on shows like Survivor and that show that was canceled too soon, Utopia. And he's probably smart. I don't know. Do we want to do Darko on Survivor?
Let's do it. Darko on Survivor.
All right. That Rodney Stuckey hashtag did not last long.
Nope. Love you, Rodney. Maybe after this one we'll get you back. Yep.
No, we used to do that all the time when Stucky was on the Pistons.
I do remember that. I enjoy it.
Stucky? All right. New hashtag, Darko on Survivor. If you email us, sign it your pal Jeff Probst. Shoot us a review on iTunes. 5 stars, por favor. And as always, have a great summer. No, I'm cutting it out. It's at the very end. Let's try this again. Have a great summer. Nope. Have a great summer. You're doing it wrong. Have a great summer.
Deuces.
I'm cutting that last one out.
Stitch up the nets, but the patch won't stay. As the nail beds rest in the calico hay. The PG mermaid, dressed in macrame, is waiting. Wrote in the fork and a bend in the spoon. The turn cut short as a shadow at noon. Melting like wax, and that one's full moon's waning. There's sad sacks and insufferable bore. The sharp shot still as a harpoon sword. But doing as you please doesn't please you anymore.
My honest opinion, I'm dad.
Did I come to yours?